Good evening, and thank you for joining us on this Thursday night. Well, tonight we are one step closer to seeing parts of the affidavit that convinced a federal judge to allow the FBI to search former President Trump's Florida home. And now we know just which crimes Trump is under investigation for by the Justice Department. But the DOJ says the criminal probe is in its, quote, very early stages. Late this afternoon, a judge gave investigators 1 week to file a redacted version for him to consider unsealing. And in other Trump legal woes, a former top executive at the Trump Organization pleaded guilty today to evading taxes and agreed to testify against the company at an upcoming trial. So we have a lot of news to get to tonight, and CBS's Catherine Herridge is here to start us all off. Good evening, Catherine.
Norah, there's court action today from New York to Florida that could have wide-reaching implications for the former president.
Federal Judge Bruce Reinhart found the Justice Department had not met the high threshold for showing the entire affidavit should remain sealed. And he ordered the immediate release of these procedural records that provide new insight into the possible crimes behind the Mar-a-Lago search. Willful retention of national defense information, concealment or removal of government records, and obstruction of a federal investigation. The judge agreed with media organizations, including CBS News, that at least some part of the affidavit that supported the search could be unsealed.
Balancing the interest in the public of accessing these materials against the interest in the government in keeping them secret.
Under today's order, the Justice Department has 1 week to propose what information they'd like to black out or redact from the affidavit. Information that, if made public, prosecutors believe would be a roadmap to the criminal probe and would reveal identities of potential witnesses and the FBI agents involved.
How much of the affidavit will the public see?
I think we can look forward to discovering a few more tantalizing details. For the most part, we're not going to see the core of what we're all very interested in, none of which will be good news for former President Trump.
And earlier today, in a Manhattan court, the former chief financial officer of the Trump Organization pleaded guilty to not paying taxes on almost $2 million in compensation.
My chief financial officer, Alan Weisselberg.
In pleading guilty, Alan Weisselberg acknowledged conspiring with the Trump Organization to evade taxes, and he could be called to testify as early as this fall.
The Trump Organization called Weisselberg a, quote, fine and honorable man, claiming he was harassed, persecuted, and threatened in a politically motivated prosecution. On Twitter, a Trump spokesman said the American public should be permitted to see the whole Mar-a-Lago affidavit without sections blacked out. Norah.
Catherine Herridge with a lot of news today. Thank you.
You're welcome.